Okay, this is a quick test stream to see how much we can get within half an hour. So it's about the IC3 Black Bank for Reparations. Hopefully the t-shirts will be available in the near future. So, and the book that I'm working on, Organizing for Reparations. Organizing for Reparations. Yeah. Organizing for reparations. So, reparations, as far as I see it, first we have to clarify identity, the identity of the people that will be due for reparations. And the people that will be due for reparations are those that are classified as African, Black African. But then there's many people say that the idea of Black is not, the concept of Black identity is not African. So they struggle to achieve and organize, try and claim for reparations based on their own versions of African identity. This plan for reparations is based on the idea of using the current system, the current international system, to clarify Black identity, because Black identity can be seen as politically Black, or anybody that's not white, and all this kind of confusion. And the confusion stops any effective progress on the issue of reparations. So when I refer to Black, reparations for Black people, I use these codes so it's clear what is meant by Black identity. Because people cannot organize effectively if they're not clear on identity. And this confusion, Black people suffer as a result of the confusion around Black identity, what it actually means. Yes, so if there's confusion around identity, there's going to be confusion around the issue of reparations. And these are the ethnicity codes, and the ethnicity codes are a subdivision of the race codes. So this system is international in that if you look up who uses the police national computer, who has access to the police national computer, you'll see that the race codes are international. Yeah, so that's these codes. On the police national computer, it doesn't say IC1, IC2, IC3, IC4, and so on. It says just 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 7. But if you don't know this information, those numbers won't mean anything to you. So you have to know this information, and then when you see those numbers on the computer, you'll know what they are referring to. Yep. So for identification for reparations, these these ethnic codes, in reference to the term black, these subdivisions, ethnic subdivisions, clarify exactly what the system sees as black identity. Yeah. Now, what you have is this confusion makes it impossible to organize effectively for reparations. So the reason it is necessary to use the IC3 codes is because if you just say you're an African, see, you cannot plug into the system because it's not recognized. See, so you've got to plug into the system. You've got to speak the language that they will understand. Because if you cannot plug into the system, then they'll say, well, who are you talking about? Can you identify it? Loads and loads of unnecessary questions while we just bypass all that nonsense. You know who we're talking about because you have it codified. Yeah. So we're using the established codes to communicate with the system. Yeah. See, Africans cannot communicate with the systems. So Africans cannot be effective. Africans with the K, that is. Yes. African identity with a K. So you got to use the codes and the system to communicate with the system. The codes of the system to communicate with the system. Now, once identity is clarified, once you have a clarification of black identity, then you can begin to organize. And the organization model based on the codification system that is established is here. So just zoom in there. So the idea is to create a black bank for reparations to process and to receive the reparations. You can see here we've got a mixed race, mixed black. So blackness in itself becomes a value because the reparations will be going to those identified as black or and those who have partial Black identity. Yes. So if you're full Black, you'll be entitled to 100% share. If you're 75% Black, mixed race, you're entitled to 75% share of the benefits of the reparation. If you're half Black, you're entitled to 50% share. And if you're 3/4 Black, you're entitled to, sorry, yeah, if you're quarter Black, yeah, but basically, look, yeah, so 25% Black, 25% share, 50% Black, 50% share of reparations, 3/4 Black, 75% share, full Black, 100% shares. Yeah. So that covers the mixed race question. And as the bank system is set up, then you have ID cards of some kind that will grant privileges based on the percentage of Black identity. Yep, so, and that's all to try and avoid Black confusion, because confusion over what it means to be Black causes the Black people to suffer, to lose what they're entitled to as people claim to be Black when it's convenient. So, to set up a Black bank also involves the setting up of the Black nation. And the Black nation will be a concept that's in the cloud, as it were, and as it's forming, states, if they choose to identify as Black, then they become part of the Black nation. So it's like the birth of the nation, birth of a nation, birth of the Black nation. So it begins in heaven, in the clouds, as it were, and then as different states say, you know what, we're going to classify ourselves as an IC3 Black nation. Then that nation can grasp the benefits of Black identity. Yeah, so reparations for African enslavement for the Caribbeans, for colonization for those of the mainland, and for those of East Africa, Arabic slave trade. Yeah, so this reparations model covers all aspects of IC3 Blackness. Yeah. And so as the nations choose to, and states choose to take on Black identity, then they are entitled to enjoy the benefits of the project, of the reparations project. Yeah. Now, the reparations system, it will be different than the popular view is like, oh, well, how big's a check? What check do you want for reparations? No, this view is seeing the world as a crime scene, and people classified as black or part black have been the victims, and yes, so each reparation, so there'll be a process of reparation claims, yeah, claim by claim. So we'll have researchers who specialize in history of colonization, history of enslavement, and they will be gathering evidence to make reparation claims. So reparations will come by claim basis, and there may be other people, there may be white people who may wish or who may know of information that could result in a successful reparation claim, and then they can negotiate with the black national negotiators. You can negotiate a share. So, for example, if the reparation claim is successful and it brought in 400 or 300 million, then those people that helped provide the information for that successful claim can negotiate for a share. Yeah. So as they're negotiating, you know, they're entitled to a fee for their services in helping to provide evidence for a successful reparation claim. So we'll have negotiators who will be specializing in those issues. Who will be discussing. So we call them the reparation masons because they're constructing the nation, birth of a nation, building the nation by looking into reparations cases, doing research on artifacts. So the idea of the Black Bank for Reparations is directly linked to the concept of a black nation and the construction of a black nation. So sovereignty goes with banking sovereignty as well. National sovereignty goes with banking sovereignty. So the black nation begins to form as the reparation claims start coming in and states opt in to black identity and declare themselves a black state so that they can benefit from the efforts of our negotiators, the negotiators who will be negotiating for reparation claims. So we'll be looking for, so these people are the builders of the Black nation, because they are gathering evidences for reparation, gathering information, cultural artifacts, not only just financial reparations, but they'll be negotiating on behalf of the National Black Bank and the nation, those who are versed in Black history and banking will step forward and start to construct the Black nation. The Black nation, the IC3 Black nation. And this construction can take place because we've dealt with the confusion. No confusion about Black identity. So we're using the established system so that the system and those who we're speaking to will know what we're talking about and who we're talking about. So clarification of Black identity is necessary to communicate, to speak a common language of race and ethnicity. Use the codes, the codified system, the established system. So we talk international language. And notice how the mixed race codes begin with M. See? Mixed race codes begin with M, and the other codes begin with O. See? It's all codified. No confusion. Codified language. To avoid confusion. Yes? Let's see. Right, have I missed out anything? Oh, yes. So those codes that I showed you See, the codes, this is constructed from the codes. Yeah. So those are black codes for the black part here. And then the mixed race codes line up with the M codes, the codes that begin with M. See, so blackness, it becomes an asset, becomes a value. So black identity in itself becomes an asset, a value within itself. Got to clarify identity. Clarify black identity. And you can only understand what black identity is in being clear what it's not. See? So if there's any questions, or if you're looking to become, if you know your history, you know your black history, could you become a negotiator, a reparation mason, a builder of the black nation? Negotiating on behalf of the black nation and working to convince states. Could you be a diplomat for the black nation? A diplomat. Yes. Trying to encourage states to accept black identity, to say, yes, we see ourselves as a black state, and we will do what we can to encourage and support the building of the black nation. And that's it. That's what this is all about. There we go. So until next time.